It's Meryl, founder and CEO of Images, and in today's video we're going to be talking about organisation settings within Xero. Before we do, I wanted to do a quick recap on some of the topics we've covered in previous videos. We've taken a look at the chart of accounts and how you may customise that for your business. And we've also talked about the importance of having consistent coding, so consistently allocating transactions to different account codes within the chart of accounts based on the definition of the chart of accounts and the kinds of transactions. And that consistent coding enables you to have accurate reports. The settings area in Xero, there's a number of areas, a number of sections here. To get to organisation settings, you first of all identify or click where the Xero file name is and then click settings. The areas that we're going to be covering in this video are invoice settings. And you'll remember in the first video in this series, we looked at invoicing and what you could do to get your customers to pay you faster. So looking at the reports you could run, like the age receivables report, and also looking at where you go in Xero to find outstanding invoices and invoices that are overdue, where your customers haven't paid you before the due date. This is the invoice settings area, which is found through organisation settings. And this is where you can change settings such as your payment terms. Something else I'd like to draw your attention to is payment services. And something that I think about when I'm creating invoices in my business is how can I make it easier for my customers to pay me? And one method might be to add additional payment services. And having options like PayPal or Stripe may make it easier for your customers to pay you. And if you enable the payment service within Xero, then when you send your customer an invoice, they'll be able to click on the link for that payment service and pay that way. We'll head back to organisation settings. The other section I wanted to talk about is users. And you can see here, this particular user, John Smith, has access to, he's got the standard level of access and access to reports. And my position when it comes to user access is basically what does someone need to be able to do and limit their access to that. So if John doesn't need access, he doesn't need to do anything in projects, then let's not give him access to projects and let's keep it his access to within the areas of what he needs to do. You would usually invite your bookkeeper and accountant and they would let you know what level of access they need. So I could edit these changes. I'm just going to click back. Or I could invite a new user and then I would fill out their details to do that. The last area I wanted to touch on is that there is an advanced settings button. And if you click on that, it takes you to this accounting area. And this is another way that you can access the chart of accounts. And there's also where you can access something like financial settings. And I'm not going to spend long on this, but just to show you that it's here, and you may have heard your accountant or bookkeeper refer to lock dates, and when a period is finished, they're probably locking their period. So say we finished the 31st of December accounts, then they would be selecting that so that no changes can be made once the accounts for that period are finalised. Now, settings may not seem like a particularly interesting area of accounting Xero, but these settings can dictate whether your underlying accounts are accurate or not, and you're wanting to make decisions about your business or to grow your business or make it more profitable based on accurate reports. So it's important that these settings are right from the beginning. And in our upcoming Improve Your Cash Flow coaching program, we will be touching on some of the settings, and you'll also have the opportunity to ask questions if there are settings that you're unsure of. Just a reminder about the Xero Toolkit that is available at beaniges.com/Xero Toolkit. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about having a reporting timetable. It's important to have up-to-date accounts soon after the end of each month. It's the 11th of February today, and ideally I would have already looked at my numbers for January. And I've found that when you want to achieve something, it helps to have a plan and a timeline. And so in tomorrow's video, we'll be talking about how you would prepare a reporting timeline for your business.